Good morning. This is Latricia Pugh Griffin. I'm so excited to be back with you as we discuss three ways to strengthen your relationships and how it can help you in your finances. Again, I'm so glad to be with you today. As you come on, please be sure to say hello in the chat. I want to say good morning to you. Good morning to everyone who is here live. And if you are catching us on the replay, I'm so glad that you are here as well. We want to be sure that we have a good time this morning. So go ahead and clear your mind and allow yourself to be present. So whatever that looks like, I pray that something resonates with you. And if this is your first time being here on the live, I say hello. Say hello and let me know if it's your first time in the chat. You can just put first time, and I will be sure to greet you and give you a welcome because, like I said, I'm so glad that you are here this morning. And so we will open up with a word of prayer, and then we'll go into today's discussion, and then after that we will go about our day. So only 15 to 20 minutes of your time, but like I said, I'm so glad that you are here today. It is my pleasure to continue to talk to you about how God and finances can work together, that God and finances can work together. And so with that being said, let's open up with a word of prayer, and then we will get started. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your presence, your guidance, for being with us, Lord. I pray that you will cover each person who's present, whether they're watching this live or on the replay, Lord. I pray that it is a blessing to their lives, God. Continue, Lord, to mold us and shape us, Lord, into the people that you have called us to be, Lord, because your word says that you will continue to do a great work within us, Lord. So we're trusting, Lord, you, Lord, because you are consistent, that you will continue to work on us and shape us, Lord, until the day of your return. We give you honor, praise, and glory in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So today's conversation, as you see the topic, it says three ways to strengthen your relationships. Three ways to strengthen your relationships. Now, you can use these principles that we discussed today in your marriage, at your job, in your friendships, in your family, with your coworkers. So any of these three principles or three tips, they can apply in strengthening your relationships, because honestly we weren't meant to do life alone. And so today's discussion, as we talk about the relationships, we're getting into the holiday season, and there are a lot of things that we may be doing together with family, whether it's negotiating what will be done for Thanksgiving, deciding who is going to do what for Christmas, what the travel will look like, who will keep the kids. All these different things are going on in our lives right now that we need help with. And so we want to make sure that we are positioning ourselves appropriately, that will be beneficial to those who are around us, and stay in good standing with those who are around us as well. And so the verse that we are using for today is coming from Second Kings. So we're still in Second Kings, and the verse reads: "So the priests agreed not to accept any more money from the people, and they also agreed to let others take responsibility for repairing the temple." And this is Second Kings, the 12th chapter, and the 8th verse. So when I was reading this, I was like, man, what an excellent way of working together. What an excellent way of working together. Because the king, Joash, I hope I'm saying his name right, Joash had asked the priest to use the gifts, the offerings that were turned into the temple, to use it to repair the temple. Some time passed and they hadn't did the job. So when the king followed up, accountability, when he followed up and said, hey, why hasn't this work been done? Well, There's no response from the priest of that. He was like, I tell you what, I'm taking this responsibility off of you. How about this? Any money that is coming into the temple will be used for the repairs. You're not taking any money for yourself. We're going to use all this money to repair. And so the money was put in a box. And then as the money was put in a box, it was taken to someone on the king's team, basically, and then they would give the money to the construction workers to repair the temple. But the priests were okay with that. And so in my blog yesterday, I talked about, like, man, we're not great at everything. There are things that other people are great at. And so part of relationships is recognizing other people's strengths. And so when we do this, we end up recognizing the three things that I want to talk to you about is how to strengthen your relationship. How to strengthen your relationships. So I want you to think about the relationship that you feel like it could really need some strengthening right now. Whether it's your spouse and you're having trouble having conversations with each other right now, whether it's your coworker who you can't seem to get on the same page with, whether it's your boss where you don't understand why they are doing things the way that they're doing. It could be a family member. Who is that person that you're like, okay, it would be really nice if I strengthen those relationships? So the first thing that I want you to recognize when it comes to strengthening your relationships is that we must recognize that we are stronger together. We are stronger together. It is natural for us as human beings to want to get all the credit, to want to be the person who solves all the problems 100% of the time. But the reality is that we were not built that way. That we should take the time to understand that we are stronger when we allow the other people in our lives to operate in their strength. Now, I don't know what the different situation is with you, but I do know that there are certain things that if we allow other people to operate in their strength, that we can actually see more get done. We can see more get done when we allow people to operate in their strength. And so if we're talking about finances, it could be that one person, I'll just talk about my household. In my household, even though we have these conversations, we make the decisions together, but the organization of putting the spreadsheets together, that's something that I take care of because that's something that's within my skill set. Not saying that my husband is incapable of it, but I'm the one who puts the spreadsheets together and then we come together and make the decision so things are organized. Or it could be that he handles a lot of taking care of the household and getting all those things in track. I have no idea what is going on with the house when it comes to construction or repairs, and he keeps me in line with that to be aware of those things. And so that's something that I trust him in, and he trusts me in the other part. Are you willing to trust the other person who's with you to operate in their strength and know that they can take care of it? And so we recognize that we are stronger together because when I'm operating at my best and he's operating his best, or when you're operating your best and your coworkers operating at their best, we recognize that more will get done instead of one person trying to do everything. Because when you try to do everything, you end up burning yourself out. And we don't want to have that burnout. So, number one, we're going to recognize that we are stronger together. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to say thank you. Thank you can go a long way. Thank you can go a long way because there has to be an appreciation when you're in a relationship. Everyone wants to be appreciated. Everyone wants to be acknowledged and known that the things that they're doing is helping. The things that they're doing is helping move things forward. Everybody wants that. Even though they may not say it, it goes a long way just to say, thank you so much for taking care of that. Thank you so much for completing that task. Thank you so much for responding to that email. Thank you for what you do around the house. Thank you so much for making sure that the my car has gas in it, or get the oil change, or whatever it may be. But we should have an attitude of gratitude, have an attitude of gratitude in our relationships. And so what ends up happening is that when we are in relationships for long periods of time, we just what's the word I want to look for? We just assume that it's going to happen. We take for granted that these people are doing these things for us. And so we do not want to be people who aren't willing to appreciate the people who are around us, right? So if we are made in God's image, God expects us to praise, right? Praise shall continually be in our mouths, right? And so, in that same aspect in our relationships, we should be able to have gratitude, thanksgiving for the people who are in our lives for the things that they do. And on top of that, we say thank you even when they may not. We say thank you even when they may not. Because our thank yous aren't should not be with an expectation to receive something in return. You just say thank you because that you should. You say thank you because you should. Because if you have an ulterior motive, you may not get the result that you want. So we want to make sure that our thank yous are genuine, but we also want to make sure that we are acknowledging the things that they are doing in our lives. So take time to make sure you acknowledge the good things that the people are doing in your lives. And then the last thing I want to point out, the things that can strengthen your relationship. So we've already discussed that we want to make sure that we recognize that we're stronger together, working each other's strengths. We've already discussed that thank you. We're going to have appreciation for those who are around us. And the last thing that we want to do is help when we see they are stressed. Everyone is not perfect all the time. Everyone is not going to be on their A game all the time. So when I say help, that could be a word of encouragement of saying, "Hey, are you doing okay? Is everything all right? Is something going on?" Because there can be a lot of things that are floating through people's head that they haven't had a chance to discuss with their loved ones or with you. And so in your workplace, you should recognize that there are things that happen outside of work that may be more important to them at that moment. And so when there is a happy personal life, then you have better coworkers, you have better bosses, you have better colleagues, you have better vendors, you have better partners, because they are better in their personal lives. And so when you see that something is off, be a genuine, caring person and ask them, "Hey, how are you doing? How are things going? How are your kids doing? What's going on? How can I help?" And if you have the relationship where it's grown to the point where you can say, "How can I pray for you?" Those type of things go a long way in strengthening your relationships, because they know that you actually care about them and that they are not just someone who is a checkbox to you. Nobody wants to be just a checkbox. And so we want to be genuine and have a caring spirit to the people who are in our lives. Now, thinking about that in the workplace, that's easy. But how does that work in the marriage? If your spouse is sick, are you going to pick up the slack when they're not feeling well? Where something that they usually do when they are 100% healthy, are you going to pick up the slack to make sure that in that season while they're recovering, that you're going to handle the things for a season? Because that takes stress off of them so that they are able to focus on their health and not be stressed about getting well and doing all the things, right? So we want to make sure that we have a caring spirit for those who are around us, and that all these things will strengthen the relationship. Because when you are recognizing someone else's strength and letting them be a part of the process, letting them be a part of the team, like they're going to be eager to do things for you because you allow them to operate in their strength and you're operating in their strength. And so when you say thank you, you are showing appreciation for the people who are around you. And they feel that, okay, I am valuable to this person. I am valuable to this team. I am so grateful that I'm on this team because I know that me being here means something. I'm not just a person on a roll. I'm not just someone who's just filling in a spot to do a job. That the only thing they want us to do is just answer emails and do all these tasks. They don't have any appreciation. A thank you can go a long way. And then lastly, we want to be genuine, caring individuals. We want to see who they are and what's going on in their lives and take the time to ask how they're doing. And in our homes, when people are not at their best, filling in the gap when they're unable to. These type of things allow people to heal. These type of things allow people to get healthier or mentally stronger. Whatever is going on in their situation, they can come back stronger because they know I can breathe and take care of myself in this season because someone else is taking up the slack. And so, if we really want to be good stewards of our relationships, it can't always be just me, me, me. It has to be thinking about the other person and helping them to grow. And the goal, honestly, I'm just being completely honest, the goal is that we hope that it's reciprocal. We hope that we are surrounding ourselves with people who will not only be takers, but they will also be givers. But we must give first because that is what we've been taught, that it's better to give than to receive. And that as you give, you will receive exactly what you need. It may not be from the person that is giving it to you or that you are giving these gifts of recognizing, of saying thank you and being of need to them, but you receive it exactly the way that you're supposed to. And so I appreciate your time of being here today. If something has been helpful for you, please put that in the chat because it may help someone else in their journey and how they grow. And if this has definitely been helpful for you, please be to share this on your timeline because that will allow other people to have access to this information. And if you would like to grow in your finances, and you need the help of Pew Financial Coaching, you can get connected. You can use the QR code to get access to the link. I will put that in the chat as well. And if you would just visit PUFC /services, that will take you to anything related to PUFC and get you connected to me. So it's been my pleasure. Thank you for everyone who stayed on live. I appreciate your time and your presence this morning. And I pray that that you all have a great day. For those of you who are dealing with the rain, be safe out there. Be safe on the highways. Be careful of yourself and praying that the other people are careful on the road as well. Have an amazing day, and I will see you.